Okay folks, so today with Easter approaching, I thought we will do a leg of lamb and some of the trimmings that go with it. So we're going to do a cauliflower cheese, but we're going to use smoked cheese instead of the regular cheese. Anyhow, so here we have our leg of lamb. Now this one is about 2.3 kg, as you can see there, which is about 5 pounds. Now typically the rule for lamb is about 20 to 25 minutes per pound. So this one should take in around the 2.25 hour mark. But I'm going to roast it low and slow because I want it really tender and the meat to just fall off the bone rather than even to carve with it. So if you wanted just to carve it and get a nice proportion of it, you would do the 20 to 25 minutes per pound, but I'm going to throw that out the window a little bit. People may be daunted by cooking a large joint, but it's actually relatively simple as long as you follow the simple rules, and that is your time per pound, and when you take it out of the oven, once it's reached temperature, to let it rest for a good 30 minutes. Let the juices come out and let the muscles relax, and it'll make for a much better cut of meat. Anyhow, so with this lamb, what we're going to do is we are going to cover it in olive oil, salt and pepper, and then we're going to make incisions into the lamb and get this wild rosemary. I'm lucky that wild rosemary grows so close to me. It's not as green as the one you would see in a supermarket because it does have to deal with the elements more so than a supermarket bought one, which is grown in conditions suited for it. And then obviously some garlic. So the garlic cloves we're just going to cut in half, and then after incisions are made, you're going to see me sliding the rosemary and the garlic and just studding the lamb all over. So let's get started. So as you can see, I've made incisions all over the lamb. Done this about probably 15 to 20 times at a knife, just at an angle like this. So you're going in at an angle. What you're going to do here is you're going to stuff it with the half clove of garlic and some rosemary, and that's going to get the flavour right into the meat. So let's get going on the rosemary and garlic. So first, get all your garlic cloves cut in half and get your sprigs ready to go. And then we're just going to give this a quick rub of olive oil and then coat it with some salt and pepper. I'll do this now before I start studding it because it's just going to make it a little bit easier. If I stud it first, then in order to rub it, I'll be hitting the rosemary and the garlic and perhaps knocking it out of place, and we don't really want to do that. So now that we have it, the olive oil massaged in and it nicely seasoned, we're just going to get our cloves like this, as you can see, and slide it into it. Just slide in there like that, quite simple. Then rosemary the same, just sticks up a bit, so that's going to give great flavour to the meat. So we're going to cover the whole of the leg of lamb like that. So now we have our lamb completely studded with the garlic, rosemary, and has of course the olive oil and the salt and pepper. So what we're going to do is we're going to put it on a roasting tray now. Now what I've done is I've put a layer of onions about 1 inch or 2 inches thick, and what it's going to do is just going to lift the lamb off the roasting tray, and it does two things basically. It's going to add flavour to what's going to be the gravy at the end. It's going to be the juices from the lamb, and I'm going to add a little bit of stock in there, and that's also going to give it a better chance to cook more evenly because the heat will be able to get underneath the lamb a little bit easier than if it was stuck to the roasting tin. Now obviously after a while the onions are going to break down, which is essentially what we want to make our gravy anyhow. So it's going to put a lamb straight in. So there you have it in there. As you can see, it's just raised up ever so slightly, and then we're going to put in about 3/4 litre of a veggie stock. So that's going to do basically is going to keep it nice and moist while it's cooking, because I'm going to cook this a little bit slower, so we don't want it to dry out basically. And I'm going to cover it for most of its cooking time, and then with the last 30 to 40 minutes I'm going to take the roasting foil off, and then we're going to let it get a nice deep dark colour. So that's nearly ready for the oven. We just have to cover it and get it in there. I'm going to set the oven for 160, and I'm going to give it about 3.5 to 4 hours. I'll see how it does after 3.5. I might give another half an hour after that because I want it nice and slowly cooked. Okay, so I've all my veg here prepped. Now you can do this the night before. There's no need to do everything first thing in the morning. So this is done from last night. So I've all my potatoes in there, carrots, broccoli, and the cauliflower for the cauliflower and the smoked cheese sauce. to get our lamb into the oven now. Okay, so next we're going to do our cauliflower cheese. So we're going to do it with a smoked applewood. Now I've had these cauliflowers cooking for about 7 or 8 minutes. We don't want to cook it completely through. We want to give it a bit more time in the oven, so we don't want to turn it to mush. So this has been basically boiling in water for about, say, 8 minutes. So now we're just going to drain it off, and then we're going to start our white sauce for our cauliflower cheese. Okay, so for our white sauce for the cauliflower, we're just going to need 50 grams of butter, and then about 4 tablespoons of plain flour. So we're just going to let the butter melt, and then we need 500 mils of milk. Now you're just going to add the milk a little at a time, so we're just going to let this melt a little. So when the butter is melted, we're just going to add some crushed garlic. Now you don't need to add the crushed garlic, but I just like a little bit of garlic in there. And then we're just going to add the 4 tablespoons of flour all together. And then we're just going to give that a quick whisk up. So you just want that to cook out for a little bit, or else you end up with a very kind of flour tasting sauce, and you don't want that. So we're just going to cook it up for about 5 minutes or so. So now we're just going to add our milk, just a little bit at a time. So this milk has been heated up slightly, just so it thickens a bit quicker. You can see it's coming together. You have to keep whisking so that you don't get any lumps. It may look like it's going to stay lumpy, but it's not. It will come together eventually. So I'm just going to add a pinch of sea salt in there. Quick whisk around. Now I'm just going to top up the cauliflower. So you just want to cover it all basically. Then we're going to put this in the oven for 10 minutes just to finish cooking the cauliflower, and then we're going to top it with our smoked applewood cheese, and then we'll give it another 10 minutes just to brown it off, and then it'll be completely done. So that's going to go in the oven for about 10 to 15 in completion. So now we're going to move on to our roast potatoes. Now I parboiled these for about 15 minutes or 20 minutes, something like that. So everyone has their own way of doing roast potatoes, but this is our way, and I think it's a really good technique to get nice, crispy and fluffy roast potatoes. So we're just going to put this onto a roasting pan now, and we're going to toss it in a little bit of oil and season it. So we're going to drizzle generously with the olive oil, give it a nice good coating, and then we're going to put some salt and pepper and some seasonings on there. So this season I'm using, so basically it's onion, salt, pepper, a little bit of dried thyme and some fresh rosemary, which I just chopped down basically, and then we coat it nicely like this, and then we're just going to put these in a roasting pan. What you're going to do is you're going to basically roast them for about half an hour until they get lightly brown, and then we're going to take it out and I'll show you what to do after that. Now with about 30 minutes left on the cooking of the lamb, I'm just going to take it out, have a little look. Looks pretty good now. As you can see, the onions have come away from the bottom. The lamb is nearly there. It's just going to take another 30 minutes just to get some more colour on top, and just to finish off cooking, and then we're going to let it sit for about another 30 minutes or so. So just about 10 minutes before I take the potatoes out for the first time, these are baby carrots that I've cooked off kind of about 20% of the way, so that's in for about boiling water for about maybe 5 minutes basically. What we're going to do is we're going to add some ground coriander to that, and also a nice dollop of some Canadian maple syrup. And when the potatoes come out the next time, they will go in alongside the spuds, and then those carrots will caramelise lovely beside the spuds. So our lamb is ready to come out. good. And then also I'm going to take the potatoes out for the first time. And what we're going to do with the potatoes, it's really simple. I'm just going to separate them a little bit. I'm going to give them a little push down. And what you want to see is, you want to see the potato coming out the side, just along here, along the sides. That was a bit too much, so you just be a little bit gentle with it. It's a bit heavy-handed there. So just crush them just a little bit until you see it kind of separates around the edges. And what this does is that when the next time it goes into the oven, those little white fluffy parts will crisp up. Gives a lovely finish to your roast potato. So I'm just going to put a little bit more olive oil, just a drizzle, just to get those open parts now. So just literally quick drizzle. And that's it. And that's going to go back in the oven for another 30 minutes. Now alongside that, I've got some carrots in maple, and they're just going to go in and they're going to roast alongside it because I'm a little stuck for space. Roast potatoes have just come out of the oven and my carrots have caramelized absolutely lovely, so I'm really happy with that. So now we're just going to plate up. My cauliflower cheese is in the oven now at the moment, so I've just topped it up with some the smoked applewood and the white sauce that I made earlier, and that's been in the oven for about 20 minutes. So I've just taken my cauliflower cheese out of the oven. So that was basically just a basic white sauce with 50 grams of butter, 4 tablespoons of flour, and then 500 ml of milk. Onto the cauliflower. The cauliflower was par cooked. Then we put that in the oven for 10 minutes. Then for the last 10 minutes, it cooks in 20 minutes in total, we put the smoked applewood on, and then we finish it off until it comes to a nice brown colour. Our gravy's made. That was from our juices from the bottom of the pan, and just thickened with a little bit of flour. And of course, start to show. There it is, the roast leg of lamb. And as you can see, you can literally carve that with a spoon. That's what your maple roast potatoes, and they're super crispy.